Awesome.
It's now
So
streaming.
I can't share it while I'm on my phone doing the Zoom, but right afterwards I can share it. So
Okay, fabulous. And later on, it'll be on my YouTube, which is comedian plus my three names, Linda Marcus Smith.
awesome.
So here we go. Facebook people, hi, it's me, your girl, Linda Marcus Smith. No, not Linda Smith at Caroline's, totally different person. We are about the same age and we both had brain injuries. So we have that in common. I don't care if you think I'm her or not, because I get bookings out of it. She's not getting much out of the deal. It's fine. You guys at home, kick back, relax, watch the show, share it. It's for you to get to know comedians off stage behind their mask that has nothing to do with COVID. They're going to be real. You're going to get to know if you like them. I never want to go see comedy if I don't know if I like the person. I don't know about you. That's the whole impetus behind this. I want you to get to know comedians. Be discerning. Just don't go to any show and then come out upset. Get to know them. See if you can connect with them before you pay the money. And today you get that opportunity with a headliner who's been on TV. He's been all over Netflix, you name it. I'm going to read you his intro that he sent to me. And don't think he's bragging. I ask people for a braggy introduction. So now, as luck would have it, I'm stumbling with my photo page. It's giving me a hard time, Vincent. 1 second. Here we go. It's the network's fault, not mine. So here's the intro for Vincent Royale, sitting over there in the other square over there. He's not a square, he's in a square. He doesn't think in a box, he thinks outside of a box, like all of us comics. His intro, I'm from Jersey, he says, toured the country, seen on Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, and Showtime. OMG, welcome to the stage, the amazing headliner, working road comedian, been around, a legend, bringing them up to the stage right now for you to get to know and love and follow and support Vincent Royale. Woo!
Thank you so much. Thank you, Linda, for having me. Honored to be here with you, you know.
So nice that you're here. What city are you in today?
I'm in LA today. So
Wow.
I was in during the pandemic, I stayed in St. Louis for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years with my wife, because we left LA. We didn't know how bad the pandemic was going to be, because I watch a lot of Walking Dead. So I'm thinking, oh man, this is just the beginning. So I thought everyone was going to turn into zombies. I said, let's get out of here and move to the middle of the country. But then I realized, wow, it's already an apocalypse in St. Louis. So I decided, no, we're going back to LA.
What was it like being in St. Louis during the pandemic?
I ate a lot of barbecue. I got to know my in-laws. We stayed with my in-laws, my mother-in-law, my grandma-in-law, and it was very interesting. I learned a lot about myself and living with 3 generations of beautiful Black women. So I've learned about Black hair products. So we played a lot of spades. I got to shovel snow and do some yard work while I'm there. And I really didn't think I was gonna go back to doing live stand-up until recently, because throughout the whole quarantine, I did a lot of Zoom comedy shows, like on a weekly basis. And I said, wow, this is what comedy has evolved into. But great thing that I'm just so happy for everything to open back up. I'm back on stage, and it's nothing like live comedy, man. I'm just excited. I know it sounds like I've done a lot. You know, when I told you about the networks I've been on, just like little shows here and there, but it took me years to basically get on those platforms. Like I was on a show called Cooking on High on Netflix. On Hulu, I was on a show called Stand Up and Deliver and on Showtime, I was on an independent film called Attack of the Killer Donuts. So if you guys like cheesy B horror movies, watch Attack of the Killer Donuts. And I recommend, if you're a stoner, it's probably a lot more enjoyable when you're stoned watching donuts kill people. So I have a very epic death scene where I poop myself to death. So it's yeah, it's that kind of movie.
So are the donuts killer donuts because the police trained them?
No, well, somebody accidentally dipped the donuts into radioactive liquids, I
Oh
believe,
my
in the beginning. I don't
gosh,
want
I
to
want to
ruin it.
see it.
Yeah,
It
it comes to
sounds,
life. It's in that realm of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes type of thing.
oh my gosh.
It's
Oh,
the same producers as I believe the same producers as Sharknado.
what? That's so cool.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah.
I
It's
don't have credits like Netflix, Amazon, and Hulu, but in the 50s, I did know how to use a hula hoop. Does that count?
that definitely counts.
Okay. So I'm a boomer. Gotta
Hulu.
be relatable somehow.
I remember those hula hoops. Do you remember C. Thomas Howell? See, he was man, The Outsiders.
Oh
Pony.
yeah.
Yeah, I think is Pony Boy or Pony something like that. Well, he's been in a lot of movies. I shared a scene with him in the movie Attack of the Killer Donuts. I think that's the highlight of my acting career, sharing a scene with C. Thomas Howell.
I'm gonna have to go look that up.
Yeah. I do random acting gigs because I know it's part of getting myself out there as far as doing stand up. My love has always been live stand up comedy, but I know we have to get involved in a little bit of acting work just to get the credits up and for the exposure. So that's why I ended up in random films and TV shows.
That's
Yep.
awesome. You need those credits.
Yeah, I'm originally from Jersey, but
You are? What part of Jersey?
Jersey City. It's up north next to Hoboken, home of Frank Sinatra. So if you
Yep.
guys are not familiar with Jersey, we're about a 10-minute train ride to Manhattan. So I
Yep.
grew up overlooking the Twin Towers. I actually saw that. So it was a very sketchy city when I was growing up, but it's become a lot more alive. People hang out in Jersey City now, and you can hang out in Jersey City without getting stabbed these days.
Well, that's great. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. So
But
where were you during 9/11? Were you born yet?
yeah, I was actually. I was in, I believe I was in college, and I was, man, I never shared this 9/11 story before, but I was actually in bed with a young lady, and that's why I never forget that day. And we turned the news on, and I was like, "Ooh, look, the towers are on fire."
You
And
thought you set them on fire.
no, and then the second plane hit, and she just freaked out. She goes, "Oh my God, what am I gonna do?" And da, da, da. I'm like, you know what? We might as well just stay in bed and just make love all day, because if the world's gonna end, we might as well end with a bang.
Is this your clean version?
Pretty much, yeah. But
That's hilarious. Hilarious. Oh my gosh.
and
So let's go back in time to little Vincent Royale. Where did you grow up? When were you first funny? Who in your family and at school encouraged you to be funny? When did that happen for you?
I've always been a shy kid, and I've always been quiet. I've always been creative, and I was born in Manila in the Philippines. Actually, I didn't come to the States till I was 7 years old. My family migrated here when I was 7, so I spent kindergarten and first grade in the Philippines, which is a third world country, and I've seen kids get beat for not doing their homework by a teacher. Like, the capital punishment is like it's accepted in third world countries. So my
Wow.
first day in second grade, I was like the first week of second grade, I was so paranoid and freaked out that if I didn't do my homework, the teachers would beat me. So I found out the kids would not get beat for not doing their homework. So that was pretty cool. I was really happy. It was a culture shock, and the kids were telling me about this thing called mischief night, where people would throw eggs at people's houses or at each other. And I'm a kid coming from a third world countries, and I kept thinking to myself, why would they waste eggs? That could feed an entire family. So I was always like a little, a little immigrant kid. I was very shy because I spoke with a little accent when I was a kid. But then eventually I grew up and developed this Jersey accent because I was raised in Jersey City most of my life. I grew up around blacks, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Italians, Jews. So I was friends with everybody, and I picked up. I love that that diversity in the culture, and I think it made me a well-rounded person because I learned to appreciate people from all walks of life. And yeah, I think that's the blessing of growing up in Jersey City.
Absolutely. Yeah, I grew up in Portland, Oregon, and I was sort of Jewish, but not really. And I grew up in a Jewish neighborhood where there were a lot of immigrants from in the outskirts of our little area. There were a lot of people from all over, and that's the only way to grow up. You grow up with your own people. You just don't have the same ability to cope with other groups of people.
I didn't realize how diverse the big cities were until I started traveling and touring. Like I've done gigs like in Montana, Idaho, where it's like, whoa, I'm the only brown person here.
Ah,
Like how am I gonna work this room? And I eventually learned to work different rooms by just putting myself in the most uncomfortable situations. I've done dive bars, the most sketchiest ghetto rooms, and then so I can learn to appreciate being in a comedy club or a theater because I've worked those very difficult rooms where it's like, how am I going to relate to like a room full of rednecks or bikers, or a room full of pimps and gamblers.
exactly. I love the dicier the room, the more I love it because it really pushes you.
Right, and it definitely allowed me to develop a thick skin, and it doesn't bother me when the room gets rowdy. I learned how to work that energy. So a lot of comics will tell you this, man. Working in a comedy club is it's so much easier, and it's become a blessing when you have a room full of people that came there to laugh and want they're there for the laughter. You're not there bothering their drinking time, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. I went and did here in Vegas, the Virgin Hotel and Casino has an open mic on Wednesdays. And I went and did the open mic, but I found out after the fact that they only want musicians, they don't want comedians. So I was the unwanted outsider trying to get these musicians to, and they all knew they didn't want me there. I didn't get told till after my set.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's a hit or miss when it comes to like variety open mics. I actually enjoy them when they do appreciate the comedy. Sometimes I walk into an open mic. I've done it in the past where it's all poets, musicians, and I'm the only comic, and it feels like a real audience because you're not sitting there with a room full of comics where they're not either not paying attention because they're
Exactly.
working on their own material, or it's just that it's definitely refreshing to be in a room full of other. I call them the others.
Yes. Yes.
Other creatives.
Well,
but but these days, like, it's I try to work new material in between real sets. Like it's hard for me, like if I'm getting booked a lot more, I try not to just kind of beat my spirit up by going into an open mic the very next day. You know that feeling where it's like, whoa, I just killed in front of a crowd of 200 people. And the very next day, I have new material, but I don't want to go into an open mic. Will it defeat my spirit? So now I just like squeeze in new material in between sets now
yes,
and work
absolutely.
without that one.
That's the way to do it. Wouldn't you advise up and coming comedians that if they're going to bring new material, to sandwich a little bit of it in?
Absolutely. I never like, I try not to open with new material, go get the energy going and then squeeze it in, sandwich it in, like you said.
Yes.
But I know it's necessary. I've seen well-known headliners still do open mics, so there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like I try to protect my energy.
Absolutely.
You don't want to do like 3, 4 open mics in a row, and you're just like, man, none of these jokes are hitting. It's not you or the joke. Maybe it's just the energy of the room,
Yeah.
and it's not that comedians don't want to laugh. I think it's because that we are so exposed to so much comedy. It's like we laugh in the inside. Does that make sense? It's like
It's
if
like,
you're a strip, like being a strip club DJ. If you're around naked women all day, you're just like, you can't really appreciate,
yeah,
good.
I have that problem all the time. Totally get it. So how many years have you been out grinding?
A little over 12 years now. So I remember.
Sorry, go ahead. I have tons of questions.
No, so it's like I remember being 2 or 3 years in and kept thinking to myself, man, I can't wait till I'm 12 years in. I'm gonna be an amazing comedian, I feel like I've gotten better and I've evolved and is a lot more polished when it comes to writing and being on stage. But I feel like there's also more room for growth, and that's what I love about it. Is like I try to wire my mind to where I never feel like I'm I've reached my destination. The moment you feel like you arrive, there's no room for growth. I'm always going to be a student of comedy, and I'm always going to be a fan of comedy. So I just continue to do what I love. And the moment you don't love what you do, maybe you need to take a step back. That's why I appreciate the time that I took off, the year and a half that I took off from being on stage, because it allowed me to live life and write new material and experience being married to my beautiful wife and living with her family. So that dynamic added to my to my writing.
Absolutely. It's always good to take time away from anything you're passionate about, because otherwise you burn out and you're not fresh, and you brought something
Right.
fresh back to it because of it.
And I'm just super excited. Like going back doing live comedy, it feels like year one again. And I've taken that approach. Like I'm approaching it from the eyes of somebody who's starting comedy again and going back grinding. It's just great. There's a difference between working out material on a Zoom than doing it in front of a live audience. So it's exciting again. It's fun, and I love it. I can't wait to share new material to people that follow me and go to see me.
So I have a question about your Zoom shows. If there's still Zoom going on. And so if somebody's out there, a newer comedian, and they want to know what's a Vincent Royale stamped, approved mic on Zoom or well-produced show that they should consider, do you have a couple you can recommend to younger comics?
I'm not sure who still does Zoom shows, but I know my buddy Sammy Obeid used to do some great Zoom shows. I still do them once a month. I don't do them weekly anymore because now I could go out, but definitely just go. I know the Nowhere Comedy Club, Steve Hofstetter does a lot of Zoom shows on there. Okay. But I think now it's like comics are doing the hybrid thing where it's like it can never replace live stand-up, but it's just another form of entertainment, like a podcast. So I do enjoy the platform too. Like it has its purpose. Like I work out a lot of new jokes and material over Zoom too, and sometimes it translates well on stage, and sometimes it doesn't. But it's a good option.
It's a good option. So yeah. What is, in terms of your 12 years of sacrifice? This is I always look when I get somebody on here who's been a working road paid comedian, not a comic that's just local. You have sacrificed so much. So let's talk a little bit, if you will, about the ultimate sacrifice to do your passion to make people laugh. What's it take? It can take a toll on relationships, housing, finances.
Oh
Talk
yeah,
about that.
absolutely. Like, it's hard to have a 9 to 5 job if you want to do the road or be creative and be a comic. So I've done a lot of side gigs. I've done every side gig there is just so I can, not tie up my time, my Monday to Fridays. I want to be able to go on the road. There are times, like I said, there are dry seasons where you don't get any gigs. So, I've been in positions where I had to sleep in my car, and relationships have come and gone because they don't understand the struggle of an artist, of a comic, just you know. And yeah, so the first 2 years are very hard. I didn't learn how to monetize comedy until maybe my sixth or seventh year. So now it's like, okay, great. Now I know how to get booked. I know merchandising is important. I could also get my stuff on Pandora, Spotify. So things of that, I'm just started learning and studying the business side of it after a while. If you've been working on your art for a long time, you should definitely learn how to add value in your work, and people have to see that as well, you know.
Absolutely. Let's talk about you getting booked. The difference, you getting booked when you were newer, 6 years and under, and you getting booked now. The trajectory, it went at some point, getting booked was difficult. And I like
I,
bringing this up because nobody knows how hard it is to go from being a little bit above an open mic to headliner. Can you speak to people about how difficult it is to do that for a minute?
a lot of it is basically show and proving that you can deliver. So a lot of times, like, people ask me, how do you get on so many shows? It's just because I make sure every stage that I do my very best, and I make. Sorry, I was getting a phone call.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Yeah, if they see you're funny, and just the word gets around, like, oh, he delivers, he does a great job, and it's just and it's about networking, finding out who the producers are, and just building good relationships and rapport with other comedians and being supportive. I've always had good relationships with other comedians as well. Introducing myself to producers, bookers, club managers, club owners. So it's definitely, getting booked the first few years, of course, is going to be difficult because you're still working on your 5 minutes, right? Your 10 minutes, your 15 minutes. Once you have about 25, 30 minutes of material, you can get featured work. And in my case, I was very, very anxious and very, like, my first 2 years of comedy, I already wanted a feature when I only had like 5, 10 minutes of material. Maybe my first year, I was like, new comics always want to, yeah, I'm ready to hit the improv, man. I'm ready to go on the road when you have like 5 minutes. Yeah, I could do a solid 10, and I've actually, I remember being booked maybe my first year or a year and a half in the comedy. I only had about 5 minutes of material. And the guy goes, hey, you want to do the show? I need a feature. Can you do 20 minutes? I was like, yeah, I can do 20 minutes. So I spent about 5 minutes of material and the rest doing crowd work or improvising and ranting. It was funny, but it actually helped me develop new material. Sometimes that's how I write on stage, by just ranting and playing with the crowd. So, but I would definitely wait, trying to get featured work until you do have that solid 25, 30 minutes.
Absolutely. What's the best and worst that you've seen in comedy that you were not aware was part of the deal?
Um, I feel like some comedy scenes in different cities can be like high school. And that's the only thing I don't like about it. Where it's like, okay, these two guys don't get along. If you do this room, they're not gonna like you, or they might not book you. So I don't like that. Like, for me, it's like I get along with everybody. I just want to rock and do my job, no matter what. I don't like the politics behind it. I do, that's the only thing about it. But the 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 art form itself, I love comedy, man. It's just I'm just like I said, I'm a student for life, and I enjoy watching comedy. I enjoy performing. The whole process behind it. It's like it's just I don't know. It's exciting.
Here's a question. If you were going to open, money's no issue. If you were going to open your own comedy club and do something different, better than you've ever seen, what would you do and why?
7 days a week. I haven't seen that. I don't see a lot of clubs open 7 days a week these days, or even like maybe during the day, comedy during.
Yes.
Just for people that work the graveyard shift, maybe they come in and watch comedy during the day.
Yeah.
So like, you get those weirdos to go to strip club at noon for maybe lunchtime comedy.
Yes.
Well, that'd be great because I think that you have that audience that, like I said, that don't because of their schedule they can't watch comedy at night. So maybe they come in during the day, or I don't know, something where it's comedy all around.
You're so much like me, because I would love to see a club open that every hour they have a mic or a show, or on the even hours it's a mic, and on the odd hours it's a show. Just do it 24 hours and see who comes in. Let the patrons decide what's the busy time. Like we superimpose the hours for them. What if we just let them decide?
Right. You know what? I'd sit down to watch comedy during brunch or breakfast.
Yeah, me too.
And I've done shows at 10 a.m. in the morning for corporate gigs. Like, wait a minute, that's like I think the earliest gig I've done is like 10 in the morning for like the Chamber of Commerce or something of Long Beach.
Wow.
Like I've never done comedy 10 in the morning, so this is interesting.
I did comedy one time for 1,000 veterans in Vancouver, Washington at 7 in the morning.
Oh yeah, that's
no
pretty
microphone.
Awesome.
No microphone.
I've done those too. I've done I've done AA, NA conventions. I've performed for military troops, firemen, police officers, seniors, young people. I've pretty much every gig you can think of. I've probably done already.
How about prisons? I haven't done. I want to do prison.
I almost did a prison. Yeah, I remember getting invited to do a comedy for some inmates. So I've never done it in a prison, but I'm pretty sure I've done comedy for convicted felons in the audience. There's been some sketchy people come to my show, so I'm pretty sure they've been to prison.
What's the worst thing that's happened when you've been at a show, watching it or doing it?
The worst thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? I got booked. I'll share my bomb story. This is and I can only count. I can count the times how many times I bombed in my comedy career, but this one stood out to me. Now I don't know why I thought it would be a good idea to do it was for a memorial service of this young college football star that passed away, and they decided, the family said he loved comedy, so we're gonna have comedians, which is nothing wrong with that, but so they started with like 2 or 3 comedians, a musician, and then they do an intermission. But during the intermission, they play like a montage of this kid's life, and the crowd was in tears, man. And right after that, the host goes, "Oh, guys, we're going. So here we have a very funny guy, Vince Royale. He comes up there, and the crowd is still crying, man." And I'm like, wow. It was just a very awkward set at that time, because you go from something really sad to now, okay, I got to make these people laugh. It was one of those, like, it wasn't my favorite set.
Oh my gosh. What's the funniest thing that a crowd person ever heckled that you saw happen? Because hecklers can say some funny stuff.
For me, or for I've seen other comedians go. I
Anybody?
have fun with the audience. I'm like, when I do crowd work, I'm very friendly. I'm very, I don't go in on the audience unless they say something really mean. But I've seen comics just go in and get really mean like right away. I'm like, geez, because I've seen it. Comics like they don't like the audience talking to them. They just want to do their set. But for me, it's like, okay, cool, man. I get it. They're drunk. They're having fun. They want to yell. Okay, it's gonna take away from me doing material, but I still try to have fun with them. But I seen a drunk lady run up to the stage and punch a comedian. Yeah, it was at a dive bar in Orange County. I'm like, wow. So I've never been attacked, but I've seen comics get attacked. It's a dangerous job, man.
Oh, wow. Man, if you could go back and do something in your comedy life
Oh,
better.
wait a minute. Another time. I'm not going to get into detail, but during my set, a fight broke out in the back of the room. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And and I was like, and I was so upset because the comic in me is like, damn, how am I going to close now? What's going to top that? Like, is that fight more interesting than my set? I looked at the booker, and he was like, just get off stage, bro. I'm like, am I still going to get paid?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. Did you okay, let me talk about that. So a lot of times you have to know how to adjust where there's trap doors to change up your set if something isn't working. So like when you're doing your set and you do a lot, you work with the crowd, doesn't bother you. You can keep track of where you are in your comedy set and play with the crowd.
I think it's just having a matter of having enough material in it, and also the improv skills. You build that muscle. I remember comedy vets used to tell me, just do comedy as much as you can until it becomes instinctive, until it's like it's just something natural, like something you could do with your eyes closed, like riding a bike. And so, yeah, I learned to adjust throughout the years. It's a muscle I developed to where, okay, I'm not gonna get tripped up over crowd screaming or yelling. So it's just, like I said, it's just a muscle that we continuously have to work out.
I'm exploring personally everything I can get my hands on about the topic of knowing how to read a room. What's your secret? I love asking this of veterans. What's your secret to knowing how to read a room? Or do you?
If I get there early enough, or if I'm not first, I definitely I watch the other comics first and see what the audience is responding to. If they're responding to this, if they shut down because of a certain topic or certain material, I avoid talking about that stuff like that. And I just study the audience. I look the age group, see what their backgrounds, or if I get there early enough, I'll talk to audience members and see what I'm dealing with.
Yeah. Do you let them know that you're the comedian or do you just hang out and talk?
No, it is. It. I mean, if it's brought up, yeah, I say I'm one of the comics.
Nice. I know a lot of comics that will
Yeah.
hang out and not tell the audience. And then when they go on stage, the audience is like, oh,
Breaking up. I'm sorry.
no problem. I know some comedians love to talk to the audience and not say they're one of the comedians and then shock the audience when they go on stage.
That's cool too. That's fine.
Yeah. What's the biggest thing you want baby comics to know?
Master the craft, and just definitely, before even worrying about getting paid, just get allow. Somebody told me just do comedy as much as you can, 7 nights a week, 2 to 3 times a night, till it becomes instinctive. And once you get good at what you're doing, then yeah, you can go out there and market yourself. This and monetize, learn. That's very important too. But don't even worry about that until you have you have an act, you know? That's important too, like learning how to, and I hate it, but I know it's important. We have to be active on social media. These days, we have to adapt to what's going on now. You know, with everything going on, I make it, I'm intentional when it comes to putting content out on a daily basis. I'm very active on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, more recently. So, because I know sometimes that's how you'll get followers too.
Yes.
And the bottom line is you want people to know who you are to come to your shows. So this is, this is the new media and this is what we're dealing with. So we have to learn that and study the new platforms.
Yes. So, what's the best thing that you've put on social media that got the best reaction?
Man, I have so many couple of random videos that sometimes you think it's the videos that it's so dumb and stupid that goes viral. Because I've done parody videos and sketch videos that, and I hire a production crew, camera crew, and have actors, and we do 2-3 days of shooting, and they'll get good views. But then it's the stupid thing you shoot on your phone for 30 seconds that gets the most views. So it's hard to gauge these days. That's why now it's like, you know what? If I think of something funny, I'm just gonna film it with my phone and edit it on my phone and just put it up. And I have a lot of that now.
I've
I, I
seen.
try I try to put at least 2 or 3 clips a day on my Instagram reels, or now I'm starting to do TikTok too. I
Very
can't
cool.
dance. I can't dance. I don't have the patience to learn any new dance moves, but do a lot of silly stuff with me, other comedians, my wife. I reeled her into my world.
Nice.
But she,
So, tell people where you're going to be performing and then end the show with all your social media where you want more followers, please, Vincent.
absolutely. So please come check me out. It's Vince Royale, Royale, at you could do the at thing at on I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. And the next show that I'm going to be on is the next big live show is in Orange County, the Rec Room, and that's in Huntington Beach. It's a nice club down there. I have a Zoom comedy show where I'm going. We're doing a joke off with my buddy Tino Romero, Tino
Hashtag
Esteban.
Tino Romero.
Yeah, hashtag Tino Esteban. There you go. His full name is Tino Romero Esteban, but he's considered a very funny punk king. If I'm frozen,
Now you're back. Now you're back.
are you there? Okay, good. Okay, perfect. I was frozen for a second, but yeah, we're doing a Zoom comedy joke off on November 21st. That's Sunday. So that Zoom, you can find the information on my social media, and I have a flyer for it. We're doing, yeah, I don't know if you joke per joke or we're doing sets, and we're gonna allow the audience to vote.
Wonderful. When is that on Zoom?
Sunday, November 21st. I'll send you the info for that, Linda. And then, yeah, if you're in Southern California, I'll be at the Rec Room November 7th,
Oh,
I
man.
believe.
I have
November 5th
family in
is,
Orange County. I'll tell them to come see you.
yeah, I don't know. It's either the 5th or the 7th, whatever Sunday that is. The first, I think the first Sunday of November.
Okay.
So it'll be me and a couple of other great comedians. And I usually post all my tour dates on my social media, but like I said, it's at Vince Royale.
Perfect. So the last thing I want to ask, don't let it embarrass you. Just be real. I want a knee-jerk reaction out of you. The pandemic's been hard financially on comedians. So do you throw up your PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo if people are so inclined?
Oh, they're more than happy to. I'm not embarrassed at all.
Okay, perfect. So
I,
do you
I,
want,
I, I welcome abundance and I appreciate that as a comic. my wife works, but me, I'm sticking to this crap, and I'm committed to just doing comedy. But yeah, it's just the same thing at Vince Royale. You could find me, yeah, Cash App, Venmo, Zelle. Um, yeah, checks,
Perfect.
checks, money orders. I accept EBT as well.
I'll take a brick of cheese on a bad day. Oh my gosh. You've been a doll. Thank you so much. Is your wife around? Can she poke her head in the video?
She's not she's around, but no, she's saying no, no, because she doesn't have her
Tell her
makeup on, you know.
tell her hi, and we love her, and tell her
Yeah,
thank
Linda
you.
Linda says hi,
Hi.
and she says that they love you, and
Oh,
yeah,
And
thank you.
she's
thank
yeah,
you for
she's a doll face.
and thank you for
Thank you
supporting
so much.
Vincent's comedy career emotionally, being there. If he wouldn't be as far as he is without your support. So we want to give it
Oh
up to
my
you.
goodness. Yeah, my wife has been my number one everything. Cheerleader, coach. She helps me process jokes. She deals with me, so, and super supportive. She understands the grind. So I want to shout her out for being my road dog.
Absolutely. Does she have a company that she wants us to name to promote, or leave that out?
Oh no, she you could just visit her, Sierra Royale. She doesn't do anything comedy related, but I mean, I rule her into my reels, but she does like retirement and life insurance and finance stuff. So she's the more
Wonderful.
put, yeah, she's the more put together in our relationship. So
Absolutely.
I let her pay the bills while I tell my jokes.
So one last thing, I keep saying one last thing, but I do Friday and Saturdays, I do a military show where veterans get to do comedy for the military, and I send it to the military places. Were you ever in the military?
No, but my family's been in the military. My uncles were in the Coast Guard. They were stationed in Hawaii, so I know about being moved around a lot. So
And
I went
you've
wherever.
done comedy for the military, and so you qualify to be in the Bob Hope spot. Any Sunday that you want to come to the Zoom show, just tell me, hey, where's the stupid link, Linda?
I love that. Thank you so much, Linda. I appreciate that. Yeah, I definitely support the troops 1000%. And my family's been in the military, so I know the deal, and I know the struggle.
Yes, sirree, that's right. Thank you so much. You're wonderful to interview, and I enjoyed it. I hope you guys at home enjoyed Vincent Royale. Now get out there and support him. Thank
Thank you,
you so
Linda. I
much.
appreciate your
Love
time.
you.
Thank you for having me.
Bye, Sierra.
He said bye, Sierra.
Bye.
Love you too, Linda. Have
Love
a
you
good
too.
one.